Okay, everyone, it's time for the weekly meal plan episode. If you haven't listened to this episode before, it's basically just me sharing with you what I have on my meal plan for the upcoming week for my family. The idea is that maybe you can follow along if you'd want, or you can just use it for inspiration to help you come up with your meal plan. Maybe you'll hear some things that you might want to make, some things that you typically make that you might hear something and be like, oh yeah, I haven't made that in a while. Whatever. Any reason this could be helpful, that's the reason why I'm doing this episode. So basically what I do is I put this weekly meal plan episode out every Wednesday morning, and the meal plan starts on Saturday. So it gives you plenty of time to shop if you are going to use any of these recipes, or if you're going to be sitting down to think of your own meal plan to get your grocery list together. The reason why I think it's so important to do meal planning is because it saves money, it saves time, it saves stress. You don't have to worry about like, what am I making for dinner tonight? You just look at your meal plan and then you pull out what you need, and you save money on groceries because you're only buying for what you're going to be cooking. So that's why I thought it was a good idea to share this. This meal plan is only for dinners. I don't usually plan lunches. Occasionally we will, but it's very rare. Usually we just have like leftovers or sandwiches or frozen pizza or something like that for lunch. We just kind of figure out lunch as it goes along. I will let you know where these recipes come from as I go through the meal plan for those recipes that have actual, like a website where you can find the recipe. And I also post them on the Facebook page if you want to, if you're having trouble finding the recipe and when you want to make sure you have like the right link or whatever. So that's what the gist of this episode is going to be. So here we are. So Saturday is the first day of the meal plan. So this Saturday we are going to be having the best instant pot pork tenderloin. That recipe is from thekitchen.com. It's thekitchen.com. And it's a really simple, easy way to make pork tenderloin in the Instant Pot. I don't think there is an alternate oven method if you don't have an Instant Pot, but obviously you can make roasted pork tenderloin in the oven, and it comes out really good also. But we're going to be making the Instant Pot version. For the side, one of the sides is going to be easy rice baked casserole. That's from foodnetwork.com. And this is somewhat fairly new to my meal plan within the last few months. I've made this a few times. It's really good. It's like a rice bake with like spinach in it and egg and cheese, stuff like that. Kind of like a, like a substantial kind of a rice bake. That's kind of a pretty filling side dish. And that one actually worked out really good because my one daughter doesn't eat meat, and it kind of has like milk and eggs and cheese and spinach, and so it's kind of like a good, kind of gives her something filling to eat if she's not eating the main dish, which in this case she won't be. And then I'm also going to do just some frozen vegetables. I just write on my meal plan like frozen vegetables various. That just means look in the freezer and see what I have. I always keep on hand some of like those steam fresh vegetables, either like corn or mixed vegetables or green beans or something like that. So I'll just kind of go in the freezer and grab whatever variety of those frozen vegetables I feel like making that night. So that's Saturday. Okay, so for Sunday, we're doing baked chicken nuggets, and that is from allrecipes.com. These are a really good chicken nugget recipe that is not fried, but they come out really good. You use butter to, like, you kind of coat your chicken nuggets in butter, and then you toss them in breadcrumbs and and you just bake them. And I actually use a lot less butter than it says in the recipe. It calls for a half a cup of butter. I think that's just way too much. I mean, you could do it however you like, obviously, but I'm just letting you know if you don't want to use as much butter. I use pretty much just enough to just coat the chicken, just enough so that the breadcrumbs will stick, and it comes out just as good. So you don't really need to use that much butter if you don't want to. But Yeah, a funny story. I actually made these a couple weeks ago. Well, it wasn't really funny. It was actually really annoying. I had made these, and how did it happen? I think the bowl that I used to toss the chicken in the breadcrumbs in, after I did all that and baked the chicken nuggets, I realized it was just like a ceramic bowl, and I noticed that the bowl had cracked. Like it must have got cracked in the cabinet, like either another bowl got put into like hard or whatever, and the bowl had cracked. So the bowl I used to mix up the chicken nuggets in the breadcrumbs had cracked, and I saw like these little shards of ceramic, and I was like, oh my gosh, that could be in the breadcrumbs, and I would have never seen it. And I just breaded all these chicken nuggets with these breadcrumbs that could possibly have little shards of ceramic in it. So I was freaking out. I didn't know what to do. So I actually took all the chicken nuggets out of the oven, and I didn't want to waste it. So I took like a colander and I rinsed off every partially baked chicken nugget, rinsed off all the breadcrumbs because I was afraid of any shards of that ceramic that could be in the breadcrumbs. And then I attempted to rebread them. They did not come out good. Like, they were edible. If they weren't meant to be chicken nuggets, they would have been fine. But just so you know, it just doesn't work. They just did not come out like crispy at all. Usually they come out pretty crispy and they're really good. They were more like one of those like tender chicken kind of things. Like if you were doing like just like a big piece of like chicken breast with like a tender breadcrumb kind of coating on it, but not crispy. Anyway, sorry to take up so much time on that, but it was just kind of a annoying story that happened last time I made these baked chicken nuggets. So hopefully we don't have any issues this time we make them. On the side with that, I'm gonna do creamy spinach and pasta skillet. That's from craftrecipes.com. It's just basically like penne pasta tossed with like diced tomatoes and cream cheese and baby spinach, like fresh spinach. It just makes like a good kind of like side pasta dish, like side dish pasta. And then with that, I'm just gonna do a can of corn. So it's the baked chicken nuggets, the creamy spinach and pasta skillet, and then a canned corn, and that was for Sunday. For Monday, it's healthy food night. We're doing hot dogs and home fried potatoes. I do make this once a month. I feel like I probably need to stretch it out further than that because once a month seems like it comes pretty quickly. But anyway, it tastes really good. We do the hot dogs once a month. I do the potatoes in the air fryer. And what I do is I just cut up, there's not really a recipe for that, but I just cut up dice up potatoes, dice up peppers and onions, and I cook them in the air fryer. You could also just roast them in the oven and do like Italian hot dogs with that, and it's just really good. And then with that, we're also doing a chickpea salad on the side, and that is from allrecipes.com. It's called chickpea salad 2, like Roman numeral 2. And that's kind of just like, it's a real simple salad. It's like chickpeas, cucumbers, tomatoes, oil and vinegar, Parmesan cheese, that type of thing. It makes a really good side dish. So that is Monday. Tuesday, this week is Taco Tuesday. We do that every other Tuesday. So no recipe here for the tacos. It's just however you like it. We buy the hard shells, we buy the soft shells. I do ground chicken. I was doing ground turkey. Now I've been doing ground chicken, whatever. It doesn't really matter. Add some seasoning. And then, I just put out like lettuce, tomato, sour cream, avocado, all that kind of stuff. And then I'm also making, with that for my daughter who doesn't eat meat, an Instant Pot lentil taco. So it's just basically like an alternate taco filling made with lentils, and that is from tastebetterfromscratch.com. It's a really quick, easy way to make a taco filling that's vegetarian. So that was Tuesday. Wednesday, we're doing a shrimp scampi bake. That is from allrecipes.com, and this is a really good, quick, easy meal. You basically just take like an, 9 by 13, I think, 9x13 baking dish, and you melt butter and lemon juice. Well, you don't melt lemon juice, but you know, you put butter, you melt butter, you put lemon juice, Dijon mustard, and you kind of just like let it melt together, and then you put the shrimp right in the baking dish after that's all melted, and you just kind of coat it, and then you just bake the shrimp. And while the shrimp is cooking, well, actually, before I even put the shrimp in the oven, I already have the pasta water starting, because it seems to always take forever for water to boil. So I'll get the water going, I get the shrimp in the oven. Then while the shrimp's cooking, I have the spaghetti cooking. We usually do it with like spaghetti or linguine or something. And then when that's done, you just kind of toss it all together, and you just use like the broth from what the shrimp cooked in, kind of like as a sauce. And then if you need more, more of like a sauce, you could always, like if it's too dry, you could always just kind of add some like extra olive oil or whatever, but it comes out really good. So that's like a really quick, easy shrimp, like seafood meal. Thursday, this is a new recipe, so I'll definitely post this one on my Facebook page, but I've never tried it yet, so I can't say yet if it's good or not, but it sounded like it would be good. Every other Thursday we do soup usually, and grilled cheese. So this is another soup recipe. It's spinach tortellini soup, and it's from allrecipes.com, and it sounded like really super easy and quick to make. It's basically chicken broth, which I'll use vegetable broth so that my daughter can eat it, the one that doesn't eat meat. Cheese tortellini, frozen chopped spinach, dried basil, and garlic powder. So it sounded like a really quick, easy soup to cook up real quick after work. And then we're gonna do grilled cheese on the side with that. And then for Friday, which is our last day in the meal plan, we're doing oven fried breaded pork chops. This is another fairly new recipe I've started using. It's from skinnytaste.com, and it's pretty much just breaded pork chops that you dip in egg, and then in a mixture of panko breadcrumbs and crushed cornflake breadcrumbs and Parmesan cheese, and you bake them in the oven. They really do come out pretty crispy and good. Like, they're called oven fried, you know, because they give like the texture of a fried pork chop, but they came out really good the last couple times I made them. So that's those. And on the side with that, we're gonna do Chef John's perfect mashed potatoes, and that's from allrecipes.com. It's really just, it's super basic recipe. I mean, it's just potatoes, butter, and milk, salt, and pepper. But he kind of explains how to cook the potatoes in a way that makes it come out it's much easier, and I think they come out really good if you haven't done it like this before. He actually just takes the whole entire potato and just cuts it once in half lengthwise and boils them just like that. And then when they're cooked, you put them back in the pot, like after the water's drained, and then you turn the heat on, and then just kind of like mix them around in the pot just a little bit with the heat on, and it kind of like evaporates any of that extra water that's left in the potato, and it helps them come out like I guess it absorbs more of the butter and milk and whatever else you add to it, because some of the water is gone, and it seems to make them come out really good. And it's much easier to not like really chop them up so much. So it's just kind of more like a technique, I guess, more than like a recipe. And then on the side with that, we're gonna do air fryer Brussels sprouts. That's also from allrecipes.com. We like Brussels sprouts. We have them kind of fairly often. I make them in the air fryer, but you can do them in the oven, or a lot of times I'll just chop them up and just saute them on the stovetop in like a frying pan, and they come out really good either way. So that is it for this week's meal plan. I hope this was helpful to you. If you are looking for any of these recipes, like I said, go to the Facebook page. It's facebook.com/Lola's Frugal Life. I'll have any recipes on here that were new. I usually try and get them posted by like Wednesday night. So I'll make sure to check if any of these haven't been previously on the site. The other ones that have already been repeated before, you could just do a search on the Facebook page and you'll find them. So that's it. Oh, you know, one thing I did forget to say at the beginning of this episode, which I always explain for people that haven't listened before, you'll notice a repetition throughout the weeks on these recipes. It's done on purpose to make it easy for myself. We rotate meals. We do, for example, every other Monday is hamburgers, every other Tuesday is tacos. that type of thing. And I do mix in some new things here and there, but there's definitely going to be a lot of repeating. It just makes life easier in getting the meal plan together, because if I know I'm going to have this every 2 weeks, as soon as I have it, I go 2 weeks ahead, I put it on the meal plan. By the time I get to that week, the meal plan's almost done. So anyway, just wanted to share that in case, just so that you kind of understand how the meal plan works. So anyway, that's it for today. Thanks again so much for listening. If you want to join we do have a Facebook group if you're interested. It's a private listeners group. It's facebook.com/groups/Lola's Frugal Life. If you submit a request to join, I try and check it every day, but it'll definitely be very quick when I'll see it and I'll approve you. We talk about things that are relevant to the show. So feel free. I would love to have you join. Also, please don't forget to subscribe. And if you'd like to leave a review, I would really much appreciate it. I actually just got a review this morning. I was super, super excited. I check almost every day to see if I've got any review, and usually I don't, just because I know a lot of people don't leave reviews. I totally get that. But this morning I checked and I was like, had to kind of like take a second look. I was like, oh my gosh, I have a review. And I scrolled down and it was a really nice review. So thank you if you're listening, to the person who just left me a new review. They wrote something really nice. I actually was at work when I read it and I screenshotted it, sent it to my family. So it was just super nice. So anyway, if you feel like leaving a review, that'd be much appreciated. And again, thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a really awesome day.